Hello everybody and welcome back. Wonderful that you could join me. Today's account comes from the northeast, in a little tiny place called Borough Woods. And it's quite close to Morpeth and not very far from the Bull and Beast accounts. And this is from a gentleman who lives and works in the area. And this happened in 2003. Borough Woods is a small area in the northeast of England, not far from Morpeth, and I guess about 10 miles, maybe less, from Bolham Country Park. It's situated in fields and small woods, and they follow the river, and it's in an area close to the country parks. I am a fellow interested researcher and work in the area itself. So naturally, being an avid partier and reading the magazines and being so close to Bolham, I was regaling a couple of my colleagues with the story of the beast, as nobody except one or two of the local project officers had heard of it, explaining the sightings from the witnesses in the area itself. At the end of the first day of work, we were heading back to the base on foot, and it was a lovely evening. We were walking along the River Wansbeck when there was the oddest noise from up the top of the site where we had been working just minutes before. I can only describe it as a tremendous scream, but it didn't sound like any animal I have ever heard, and it didn't sound very human either. It really stood out to me as unusual, and that's what made us stop and listen. Everybody looked up to where the noise was coming from, but due to the density of trees and the thick brush, we couldn't see a thing. Too many shadows and movements to be clear on which place to concentrate your eyes on. We just shrugged our shoulders and carried on. It certainly wasn't a bird, and I couldn't see it being one of the other examples of wildlife that live in the vicinity, like red squirrel, roe deer, otter, fox, badger, nothing like that. It certainly spooked me at the time. Following that, whenever I've got the chance through the week or weekends, I'd have a look for anything mysterious or footprints, which should have been evident given the muddy conditions, but of course I found nothing. This account is very close to the River Wansbeck and just outside of Morpeth. It does fit with many of the other strange accounts across the UK of howls and whoops and screams. It's close to the river and railway, and it's tucked between two towns, so this would make an ideal area to look for sign. But footprints are a rarity and very rarely found. Don't let that put you off an area. Some researchers go a lifetime without finding a footprint. And even if you're in an area and you don't find any sign, but it feels right to you, go with that. Because we don't know 100% who's leaving the sign. And we don't know 100% if they leave them in every place or just some places. It's uncertain. What we do know is that feelings work. So if you're in an area where you feel like you're being watched, whether you're not scared, but you feel like, as me and Dave were discussing today, like you're in somebody else's garden and you shouldn't really be there. If you get that kind of feeling, hang about and have a look, because it isn't too far away that there are quite a few other accounts. This has everything we look for. It has a little railway line, it has the golf courses, and it's on the river. Not too far from the coast. It's only, very short. It's on the estuary, just as you follow the estuary in from Stakesford. Newbiggin by the sea, that kind of area. There's lots of land that you could use. I'm just going to scroll out and have a look and see how many other accounts are very close. Well, straight away we have the Cresswell Dogman. And that's from Linda Godfrey's blog, and it's about two young men who were cruising around the towns and villages of North East England on a later summer's night in 1989, and they had a sighting of what they stated was an upright, hairy, dog-like creature. Then we have the famous Bull and Beast. A yeti with glowing eyes is living in the North East Park, according to a fisherman's tale. Quite a few people have reported the beast at Bolham. Normally an upright, hairy figure walking on two legs, the normal British wild man account that we get in. And there are 4 of them at Bolam Lake. We have the Harwood Howells, which is not too far away. Harwood Farm Figure. Howells and Growls again, just above Harwood. Thornton, Forest Odour, and my Bluff Charge. And I was very lucky that we did have a researcher very close. His name's Stu Hill. And he went down to Morpeth, to where this sighting account was, and had a look around there and found some interesting structures, and I've added them into the video. So it is a place worth keeping an eye on. So if you're in that area and you're looking for a research place, have a look along the River Wansbeck as it comes in from the sea and follow that route. Check the small woods along that route, and just see what you find. And if you find anything, let me know. And like I say, it's not about the structures, it's about how you feel when you're there. So let me know how you get on. Until next time, goodbye.